What's up, YouTube? Your boy back once again with another sport topic, and today we're going to talk some football, Houston Texans football. Today we're going to talk about this running game because I feel like it's about to be vastly improved from the running game that we've seen for the past couple of years. So we're going to break it down. But before we get into that, like I've been telling you before, if you're liking the content, make sure you're liking the channel. Make sure you're watching all the videos, you comment on all the videos, you sharing all the videos on all social media platforms, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, Snapchat, any type of social media platform you use. Make sure you share it on the same social media platforms. Also, follow me on social media. The link in the description below. Hey, we trying to get this channel growing and growing and growing. We're in the middle of training camp. Preseason's right around the corner. The NFL season's definitely around the corner. So let's talk about, we're about to get these Texan videos out so y'all can watch this content. Hey, so I need y'all to help the channel grow. So I need y'all to like, share, and subscribe. And let's get this channel growing and growing and growing. Now, I know y'all missing the whole, normally y'all see the Spitz name back on the background. I'm in the middle of moving right now. I'm doing some things, moving things around and moving. So that's the reason why ain't no Spitz background in the middle of the background. So, hey, bear with me. But anyway, let's talk about this running game because, like I said, I feel like that this running game is about to be way more improved than the running game that we've seen for the past couple of years because, quite frankly, the running game outside last year has been non-existent pretty much since Arian Foster retired. I mean, I know Lamar Miller rushed for 1,000 yards twice, and I know Carlos Hyde rushed for 1,000 yards in 2019. But I think a lot of that, especially the Carlos Hyde and also the second year of Deshaun Watson started. The 2018 season was mostly because of Deshaun Watson. Like, that's the reason why their running game looked the way it was, because Deshaun took a lot of pressure off because of the type of quarterback he was, and people focusing on him and also focusing on Hopkins and Will Fuller and things like that. That's the reason why that running game was the way it was. But now this running game right here is about to be an actual legitimate running game. We talk about the whole Kubiak Shanahan system. I know I talked about it the other day when I was talking about how it's dependent on accuracy when you're talking about C.J. Stroud, the quarterback situation, and how it also schemes wide receivers open. But let's not get twisted. We all know that this scheme bursts 1,000-yard rushes ad nauseum. We know the names that's been in the system. We know the Arian Fosters, the Terrell Davises, and things like that. We know what this system does. Dalvin Cook, last year Christian McCaffrey, Todd Gurley with the Rams. Like, we know what type of system we know what this system does. Clinton Portis, his first 2 years in Denver. We know, like I said, we know the names. We know what this system does, how the system bursts. It had Ron Dame as a Houston Texan get 1,000 yards. It had Steve Slayton as a Houston Texan get 1,000 yards. Like, Ben Tate and Arian Foster damn near both got 1,000 yards in the same season. I think Ben Tate was like 50 yards away from 1,000 yards in 2011 or 2011. And the reason why, because Arian Foster came back and took over the starting role. So we know what this system does when it comes to running back, especially dual running backs with the capabilities. And we've seen what Dameon Pierce did last year. Last year, Dameon Pierce had 939 yards, 4 touchdowns, averaging 4.3 yards a carry. And let's be honest, he would have over 1,000 yards. Even he missed the last 4 games of the season because the last game he played was that Dallas game. But even with that, he would have 1,000 yards if Lovey and Pep would have utilized him more in the initial game against the Colts. A lot of times they used to take him out of the red zone unnecessarily and putting in Rex Burkhead in the red zone when he damn sure had more than 4 touchdowns. So we know exactly what Dameon Pierce can do. We seen it last year in the preseason, before the preseason. We seen it last year, just the highlights during training camp. We seen like, hey, this kid right here is the best back on this team. And then you've seen it in the preseason game, especially that preseason game against the Rams that was on Amazon Prime last year. One of the first games on Amazon Prime last year was the Texans and the Rams during the preseason, and that game right there showed you exactly what Dameon Pierce was going to do, and we was not disappointed in the season. His only real rough game was against Washington when he had 10 carries for 8 yards, averaging 0.8 yards a carry, and that's more so because of that front for Washington was not playing, and it was bullying the offensive line. It was a rough day for everybody except for Larry Tunsil. And I'm trying to think, maybe Larry Tunsil it might have been Larry Tunsil's worst game, but it didn't really affect him too much. I know it was Tyus Howard's the absolute worst. Not Tyus Howard, Kenyon Green absolutely made Kenyon Green look very, very embarrassing. But We're not talking about the offensive line. This is a conversation for another video, another day. But that was really probably his only real rough go at it. And then now you add on Devin Singletary, who's a guy who's been playing for Buffalo for the past 4 years. And his lowest season is at 600 yards. I mean, his first season, 775 yards and 2 touchdowns. Second season, 687 yards, 2 touchdowns. Then the last 2 seasons, both back-to-back 800-yard season, 870 and 7 touchdowns. And then last year, 819 and 5 touchdowns, averaging for a career 4.7 yards per carry. And I think that different dynamic between him and Dameon Pierce. Dameon Pierce is a bruiser. He's a bowling ball. He's a guy he's a guy who's looking for contact, who runs, and he's running through guys. He's running extremely hard. And this whole notion that he runs too hard, that's a negative. It's one of the most stupidest things I've ever heard. Like, I get it, I understand. It's a lot of people out there from the state of Texas, they're UT fans, and they all would love to have Bijan Robinson. It would make no sense for the Texans to draft Bijan Robinson in the first round. None whatsoever. It makes absolutely no sense. Everybody out there talking about, we should draft the Bijan Robinson. They're just stupid. It's just dumb. Y'all, the only reason why y'all saying this is because y'all are UT fans and Bijan Robinson played for the University of Texas. If Bijan Robinson, who had the exact same career, but played in Alabama, or had the exact same career, and played in Michigan, or had the exact same career, and played in Oregon, and played in Florida State, or played at Clemson, or played any of the other schools that's not in Texas or in the Big 12, which is Texas, the Big 12 country, or anything like that, y'all would not be saying the exact same thing. Y'all would not be out here clamoring for Bijan and so upset that the Texans, we didn't know the Texans wouldn't have the opportunity because we drafted Willie Anderson, trading from Willie Anderson and things like that. But this whole notion, because, we need to add on with Dameon Pierce. Don't get me wrong. I did think that Dameon Pierce needed a running man. I think we actually found it in Singletary, especially the more I dug in and watched about Singletary and things like that. I think that we actually have the guy. I think it's going to be the nice, the nice change of pace back for Dameon Pierce, and the guy who also took some of that pressure off and some of the loads off, some of the carries off of Dameon Pierce and Devin Singletary. But we didn't have to have Bijan Robinson. It was stupid. Like, that's like saying that you need a TV, but you need a TV because we needed other things. But you know what? I'm gonna buy a tablet. I got a tablet. I'm gonna buy a brand new iPad. I got a tablet. I need a TV. I have a tablet, but I'm gonna buy a brand new iPad because I can use it like a TV. Because the thing people always say about Bijan, you can use him as a weapon. You can use him as a receiver. Why don't you just get a receiver then? Like, just get a receiver. Get a tight end. Why do you need to get Bijan when you already have a running back who showed you there was misused, not used correctly, improperly misused. It had almost 1,000 yards and almost had 5-6 touchdowns. It had 4 touchdowns, and we already know he was taken out of the red zone when he shouldn't have been, and we didn't give him the proper carries that he needed, and we didn't play him the full season because he had the whole high ankle sprain, and the team was bad. The team was bad, and we were tanking. Like, so if it was a different situation, if it was like a situation where I believe this year where we're actually competing for a champion, we're competing for a playoff spot, competing for the divisional championship, and competing for the division, things like that. That he's going to play the majority of the season, the full season. And because of this type of system, the zone running game system that bursts 1,000-yard rushes ad nauseum, he is just fine. He is just fine. He's not no Marion Barber. For everybody out there that want to run with that. And y'all already know what I'm talking about. He's Marion Barber. And when Marion Barber became the starter, it wasn't the same thing for him in Dallas. He's not Marion Barber. Stop it. Stupid. It's a stupid analogy. It's dumb. Yes, he's a physical runner. Yes, he's a bolt. Yes, he's a physical runner. He finds contact. He goes after, he initiates contact. I get you. But he also got that burst of speed. Y'all see what he did in the Chargers game. He can take it to the house if he needs to. I also think he did the exact same thing in the Rams game as well. He can cut, and he shows you that that's the type of running back that he is. That he is a one-cut back. He is ready for this system. He is. He is ready for the system. He shows that he can cut once and shift and turn and hit the direction, hit the hole when it needs to be. Am I saying he's Arian Foster? No. If I say he's Terrell Davis? No. Am I saying he's Clem Portis? No. Am I saying that he's a Christian McCaffrey or Todd Gurley? No, I'm not saying that he's none of these backs. But could we use him like a beast mode? Even though Beast Mode wasn't in the same system, but you know what I'm saying? Like, could he be that type of running back? Absolutely. Could he be a 1,300-yard running back and have a double-digit touchdowns? Absolutely. And then you add in Singletary, a guy who averages four seasons, averaging 4.7 yards a carry, and has 700, 800, 800, 600 yards. His lowest season output is 600 yards. He's having 4, 5, 6 touchdowns every season. Like, he's a guy who's averaging. Like, so we know it's not just gimmick. Oh, he had one good season. He had one season where he had like 800 yards, and every other season only had like 200 yards or something like that. He's the guy who showed you in that role he could do good. He ain't run the same system. He's not running the zone read system. So I'm sitting up here telling y'all that I'm prepared to have two backs. I feel like either Dameon Pierce is gonna have a 1,300-yard season, and Singletary probably have like a 600 or 700-yard season, or we're gonna have two guys having 900-yard seasons, and having two guys that have a high volume touchdowns. Both guys having 900-yard seasons, which is extremely well. One thing that tells you too that when no matter who's in the game, they ain't changing the plays. Which means the defense is not going to get beat. You know, okay, you got power running in, they're going to probably run power. Or they got this back end, what they're going to do, they're probably going to throw the football or something like that. Or it's going to be like, short yards type situation. They're not going to know what's coming to them. They're not going to know what's coming to them no matter if 31's in the backfield or 26 in the backfield. They don't know because you can run any play. Any play that's in their playbook, they can run with either running back on the field. Hey, if somebody needs to spell, if somebody got to miss a game or two, I have no problem with either one of these guys taking the brunt of the load, taking the full capacity, taking the 25 carry. This is the thing, people up there acting like that Dameon Pierce only needs like 10 touches a game or 15 touches a game because that's how they utilized him in Florida. They mismanaged him in Florida. Obviously, they did not use him properly in Florida. They didn't use him correctly, which is actually a benefit for us, benefit for the Texans fans and the Texans organization because he doesn't have that trade on his ties. He wasn't utilized like Earl Campbell was utilized at UT and also utilized in high school before he got to Houston Oilers. He was getting bruised and bad like that. He wasn't utilized like that. So he has zero tread on his ties coming into the NFL. And he showed you last year that he can handle an NFL load. Only bad thing was you had Pep Hamilton and Lovie Smith that wasn't using them properly. Now we have somebody who knows how to use running backs properly because the system calls for it. This zone running system calls for running backs to be running that one cut system, hit that one cut home and dip off and go. And then he's made for that. He showed you that. He showed you that last year in the other system that he is a one cut running back. He showed you what he can do. And you add on Singletary, it's going to add on that extra dynamic to the offense. He's going to take off some carries. Obviously, it's going to help him with the load, so he's not getting the full capacity of the load. So he's going to remain to be fresh. And I think that also pick back in with C.J. Stroud and Tank Dell and John Mechie and Nico Collins and Xavier Hutchinson. And also we just bolster up this offensive line by extending Larry Tunsil and extending Tyus Howard and, also get trade for Shaq Mason and things like that. And we're going to see exactly what we're going to do with the center position. And also we have Kenyon Green could step it up as well. But I have no issue with the way the system has, the quarterback that we have, and also the investment that they put in the offensive line. Right now, the investment is on the offensive line. Like, we know what we have. Actually, I think we know what we have in our two tackles, and also Shaq Mason. It's the center and it's Kenyon Green that we really don't know that we got this quote-unquote question marks. But they have drawn their line in the sand by paying Titus, paying Larry Tunsil, trading for Shaq Mason, and paying Shaq Mason, and drafting Kenyon Green with the first pick, and trading up the draft Juice Scruggs. They've drew their line in the sand exactly what they're trying to do. They've drawn their line in the sand, and now we know exactly what they're trying to do. What they put their chips in their basket when it comes to this offensive line. And now I need this offensive line to help step up for this running game, because I believe this is going to be a very improved running game from what we've seen for the past couple of seasons. Take out last year's side, it's going to be more improved than last year, even though it's going to be the same back, but it's going to be more improved than last year because of the system and just from the quality of running back. It's better than David Johnson and And I forgot what old dude from the Broncos that we had. Philip Lindsay is better than Lamar Miller, and I think it's even better than Carlos Hyde. It's going to be better than Alpha Blue and things like that. This is going to be one of the best running games that we've seen in the Houston Texans for the past couple of years. It's going to be the best running game that we've seen for the past couple of years. Not saying it's the best in history, because I'm not putting it over Arian Foster, absolutely, especially not Arian Foster and Ben Tate. I'm not putting it over there just yet. I want to see, though. Does it have potential? It does. Remember, Arian Foster was undrafted free agent, and Ben Tate was a second-round pick. So, both of these guys already have a leg up over Arian Foster, but Arian Foster was a diamond in the rough, and people ain't know what the heck. Obviously, if people knew what Arian Foster was, he would not been an undrafted free agent. Arian Foster would have been a first-round pick. If people knew what Arian Foster ended up becoming, he would definitely have been a first-round pick. Because if I'm not mistaken, who went in the first round? That'd be 2009. I gotta look and see who exactly won the 2009 draft. I remember winning the 2010 draft because Ryan Matthews won the first round in the 2010 draft. So, but that was the year after. That was the year Ben Tate was drafted in the second round. So, like that's a conversation for another day. But like I said, I think that this offense with this running game is going to be vastly improved, way better than the past couple seasons, and I can't wait to see it. Like, subscribe if you haven't, comment below if you haven't, click that bell, get more videos. I holla.